Welcome back to our Year Review Spotlight. Last time we asked, who do I see? We explored how different specialists can support our physical health needs. Today, we're going to be focusing on the personal trainer. It's not just about working out or meeting fitness goals. A good personal trainer can support us in regards to restoring flexibility, having us move better, and also in regards to improving our strength training. If this video sounds interesting or even helpful, don't forget to like, add your comments, subscribe, and go to drericaandyou.com to get more resources. Let's dive in.
Whereas on the other side, this is where we get into the field where Julia's at, is people who are like, I want to start working out. And so that's when you may see somebody a little more often. But there can be situations where people may get injured. I don't know. But I want to get into that arena where, I know that this is not the umbrella so much of personal training, but you have worked in the gym, right, Julia? And so
yes.
I want you to kind of give some insights into that piece about like that arena of people may come to you and they're going to ask very similar questions that I'm even asking with Khadijah about, like, I hurt myself, or I have this injury. What's your suggestion? Because I hear it sometimes. Or I remember when I injured my shoulder, I went to the personal trainer. I have no idea what his credentials were, but I was like, he seemed like he had this awareness about personal training and they would do this mobility exercise. So I went to him and was like, I injured my arm and I don't know how I did it. And so I went and talked to him and I was like, okay, I'm thinking it's going to feel better. It did not. And so that's why I appreciated being able to talk to Khadijah, who was rehab, and she gave me a whole different slew of things, which helped it feel a whole lot better, because it's about the body, like your body needs a whole different type of mechanism on how to rehab because it's an injury. But I think of how often there are many people, because I remember hearing stories when I'm like, you're hustling, not intentionally, but you just hear people. So I want to bring that into that perspective of like your take on just maybe some of the stuff you even heard, but just as a person who works in the gym.
Yeah, it's a great example of something that I think is really important, I guess, when you're dealing with people who are licensed, is that they have to know their field of scope, like their scope of practice. I think you mentioned that earlier, like that's beyond mine. I refer them out. And like as a athletic trainer, that was something I took very seriously because I know I'm not trained as a physical therapist or an athletic trainer. I am very specifically a coach for people who are seeking to become healthier and stronger, but are not actively experiencing injury or any kind of pain or physical issues. And so my job is not to fix pain. It is to help kind of more prevent it by helping people learn how to move well and become healthier and stronger and fitter in their lives to accomplish whatever it is that they are looking to do. And if they do become injured or if something happens, some things that I saw more frequently, I could look at movement patterns and help them fix a movement pattern, which would then fix the problem. But oftentimes, if I can't identify a movement pattern issue, then that becomes far beyond outside my realm of scope. And I would tell them, like, you need to talk to someone who's trained in how to fix pain, because that's not what I do. And that's a really good example of why, because as a coach, I wouldn't know what exercises would help fix a shoulder pain like that. And I could cause more damage by giving the wrong solution or attempt at a solution instead of allowing them to be referred to where they need to go and giving them the right direction. So that's kind of was my experience as a coach, was more focused on helping people who were well, who wanted to become more fit and healthy, not people who were sick or injured in need of healing.
Is the right person to look for?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think part of it is like listening to conversations like these where you can get more information on the differentiating factors between these licensings and like trainings that people go to become whatever they're doing. So the more that you educate yourself as an individual, the more you'll know what questions to ask and like who to talk to. But like I think like a good place to start is like if you are not experiencing pain and you just want to become fitter, going to the gym and talking to a personal trainer or a coach is probably the way to go. If you're experiencing pain or issues in a movement pattern like that's affecting your day-to-day life, going more the physical therapy or active athletic trainer route is going to be what you're going to want to do to address that problem. And that's probably where I would like start the spearheading of what you're going to want to look for and who to talk to.
Well, even thinking about that too, because I feel like a lot of people think of that terminology though as coach though, and they always kind of wonder about like, what that even means. But how do they know what to look for when they pick a coach, or how to differentiate the right person to talk to when they even go to the gym, or what are the things to think about?
That's great. I wanted to add, because you don't want to further harm yourself with doing these things. Yes, you want to stay active, but if you do it in a way to where you haven't talked with the necessary, or go to a gym and talk with these people to see, I'm looking to do this, I'm looking to improve this, how do I get there, rather than just doing it, right? You want to get those professional people that have the right knowledge to get you to where you want to be. Otherwise it will be detrimental for sure.
100%.
Because what would I always wondered about that too. Like, what is the physician or personal trainer going to be telling me before I start doing this program? Are they going to say, oh, your labs are telling me that something is wrong? Is that what they're trying to say? Because they always say consult with the physician first before you start any program. I never asked that question, and I'm always wondering about that too. What does that mean?
Well, it's like you want to know, yes, you have pain, but you want to figure out or a weakness, right? But you want to know where that's stemming from. So you can't just assume, hey, it's my back. Because a lot of people, they could have back pain, but that might actually be caused from your hip. You can get referred pain to different areas. So you can't just off the jump say that something's going on and you just research it and you think that's going to fix the problem. It could be completely different that you didn't think about. So that's why you need those experts to look at you in a whole body and figure out what's going on and then lead you in that direction. It's like radicular pain. You're thinking that you have leg pain, but it's stemming from your back. So you actually need to get some physical therapy for your back, straighten your abs, and maybe even think about, if that's needed, further treatment like injections. So you have to get that expert opinion before moving forward and jumping in somewhere.
Yeah, I would very much agree. I think oftentimes there are people who are paid to program and teach working out, essentially. Most personal trainers will like program for you, depending on their experience and like their licensure. Sometimes they do nutrition alongside that. That really just depends on the personal trainer. And you have personal trainers who specialize in different types of movements or types of working out as well. Like someone at a more global, like Lifetime Fitness or Anytime Fitness, something like that, they're going to do more machine work, more like what you would traditionally see as like lifting on a machine within a gym setting. Whereas if you go to like a jiu-jitsu gym or a CrossFit gym, you're going to see different kinds of training there, as far as just different types of movement patterns, different types of machine or equipment you might be taught how to use. And so knowing where to go and who to talk to is kind of going to be based on what you like to do, honestly. Like, what are you interested in doing? What's going to be a movement that you enjoy, that you want to keep pursuing? So that's kind of going to be the key to Lifetime Fitness, is going to be finding a movement that you enjoy doing with your body that produces the results for you that you want. And so I think that would kind of be the thing to look for. If you're looking for, like, if you're healthy and you just want to become more fit, start thinking about what movement patterns do you enjoy? Do you like cardio? Do you like lifting? Do you like dance? Do you like cycling? Like, those things are going to be what you're going to want to look into then for a trainer, is someone who specializes more in that area. If you hate lifting and you go to a Globo gym and they start putting you on machines, you're going to hate your life and you're not going to want to go back. And so don't force it. Like, work with yourself to do what you love rather than trying to force yourself to fit a mold that you think you have to fit. You don't have to fit a mold. You don't have to fit an expectation of anybody else. It's your life and it's your body. So if you're wanting to become healthier, find what you love to do and then do it. And allow that to kind of be your compass about where you go and who you talk to, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. And I think that's what is really the piece that I'm also wanting to echo in this conversation as well, is that, you know, many people are sometimes curious about stuff, and I think they're always trying to go on Google search and figure out information before they maybe even reach out. But a lot of times it's like you're inundated with so much information. But what's helpful is sometimes just to have some people to maybe do some of the legwork to figure out, like, okay, what is it that I'm supposed to be asking, or what am I curious about? And a lot of times people are not curious. And so I appreciate just the notion in that sense of like, in a, you know, way to kind of just symbolize it in a short sentence. It's like personal trainers, they understand the gym. They know the science behind what the machines do and don't do, and they will teach you how to do it. So that's great, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's helpful in that sense, but it's also great to be able to figure out, like, okay, who are the right people to talk to get that information? Because you said it, Julia, if the person doesn't give you the right insight, you're going to hate wanting to go to the gym. And so I think that's the piece about just figuring out, like, how can we know who is the person I need to talk to? Because as I started off, is sometimes we will get excited about doing these physical activities and then all of a sudden we get injured. And I've done that, where I remember starting to run and all of a sudden getting shin splints. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is so painful. I don't want to do this anymore. But if we get the right information, we can actually prevent ourselves from getting injured, you know?
Mm-hmm.